What's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Micah for those who don't know me, and happy motherfucking Monday. Today's video is going to be a little story time of basically the worst birthday I've ever had in my life. My last birthday, like before this one, I got punched on the face on my birthday weekend. The one before that, I was crying. I've just been having bad luck with birthdays. It's whatever. So let me get into it. Yo, I apologize. I know it's gonna be long. Like, I apologize. Try to make it as short as possible. But like, I'm sorry. It's probably gonna be the longest video on my channel. This involves me and a person that I don't talk to anymore. We'll name him Rudy because he's a rude ass bitch. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna name him Richard. So I just want to give a little backstory between me and Richard. We knew each other for like a year and a half or something like that altogether. Basically, we were in a situationship. Like, we weren't technically together, but we acted like we were together 24/7, so that was great. We had talked at one point, and then we stopped talking, and then we started talking again, and that's where everything just went really fucking super fast, like too fast for anybody's comfort. This all happened like last year. The beginning of the year, I was like, you know what, I really want to go on a trip. Because like, yo, I text Richard, I'm like, hey, like, do you want to go with me on a trip somewhere? Like, are you down? Are you down or is you down? Like, I initially wanted to go to Vegas, but he talked me out of it because of how expensive it is. How about California? You down in California? And he had never been, so he was like, lit. I'm like, okay, lit. And at this point, we were more like just friends, kind of. I started making plans. Let me tell you that I paid for everything, and it's not like oh my god, I paid for everything. Like, I didn't think it was fair for me to be like, hey, let's go on this trip, pay for yourself, let's go. Like, you know, like I didn't think it was fair for me to want to go on this trip and then inconvenience him, you know, with spending all this money to do this trip. So I paid for everything, flights, hotels, food, Ubers, everything. And I also bought Disneyland tickets that I was going to surprise him with because we had a conversation at one point that he'd never been. I was like, bro, that's my favorite fucking place on earth. Like, literally is my favorite place on earth. Like, I love it with everything in my fucking soul. But I just wanted him to experience it. And I was like, yo, this is a perfect opportunity. It's like March, and at this point I'm living with Richard, and the reason is there was just a lot of stuff going on in my life personally, and I didn't necessarily have a place to stay. He was nice enough to let me stay with him, so points for you, Richard, I guess. I was living with him at this point, and he had gotten a new job. And you know, usually when a new job, like, you can't take days off or you can't leave or anything like that. And he was on some impression that I hadn't booked the trip, even though I told him don't do anything these dates because we're going to, like, okay. And I'm like, oh, I booked the trip. He's like, oh, well, I can't go because of my new job. And I was upset. I was upset for a good like 10-15 minutes, only because I had to let the beans spill that I was going to surprise him in Disneyland. Like, I was just upset he wasn't able to go. Not upset that he got a new job. Like, good for you, Richard. A little upset just because I wanted to surprise him and I want to go with him, but I got over it. Decided, yo, I'll just go on this trip by myself. Like, get some me time, reconnect. It'll be lit. I'll just try to find someone to go to Disneyland with me because that's the one thing I didn't want to do by myself. I also did try to ask other people if they wanted to go with me, but my dumb ass, like, I didn't know that you can't just change the name on a ticket. You have to buy a whole new ticket. I was under the impression I could just ask someone else, but I couldn't. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go by myself. A little bit before the trip, maybe like 2 weeks or something like that, and he tells me that basically he can go on the trip. He just has to ask his manager or something like that. Like, he kept telling me stuff like, you know, the people you're asking just want to go because they want a free trip. It's funny how people talk about themselves before some shit goes down, isn't it? And then he was just saying, basically, he made it sound like it was up to him. I don't know, I'm just deciding. And I'm like, well, you better go. Because it's like, it didn't make sense to me for it to be that option. Like, oh, should I stay and work or should I get paid and go on a trip? Like, bitch, go on the trip and get paid. What the fuck? Like, it just wasn't making sense to me. I'm like, go. Like, what? Let's go. Let's fucking go. So it's like a week before he decides he's gonna go. I'm like, okay, lit. And me and Richard are fighting, bro. Like, not intense, but there was at least one intense fight where I was just like, if this is how you finna be on the trip, don't come. Because literally, I don't want to be crying on my birthday. I told him those exact words. So I was like, no, if this is the attitude you're bringing, don't come, because I'm not gonna fight with you in California at fucking Disneyland. bitch, please. He's like, no, it's gonna be fine. Like, we're not gonna do this, blah, blah, blah. It's like certain fights that you have with people that kind of make you look at them differently, that you're like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work out. Tensions are just arising. Like, there's a lot of tension. I feel it, and I'm just like, I don't know, but I'm trying to like do my best. And before the trip, I was busting my ass. Like, I was working Uber as much as I could because I did not save properly for this trip. Way to go, me. Story of my fucking life. We get to like the day of. I think I woke up early to get like more extra money basically for this trip, and like I said, there was already tensions, and when I woke up that morning, I just wasn't in a good mood. Ubered most of the day, and then I'm on my way back to his place, and he texts me, hey, we're gonna go see my cousin when we get to California. And I was just like, and before you're like, okay, Micah, what's the big deal? Again, I wasn't in a good mood that day. And another thing, when he decided he was able to go, I had to like, I was like planning out the stuff. One of the days I want to go to Disneyland, and the other day I wanted to for sure go to the beach, but I wasn't planning to spend the whole day at the beach. So I was like, let me find some other stuff to do. So I wanted to go to the aquarium. I was about to buy the tickets, and before I bought the tickets, I was like, hey, why don't I ask Richard what he wants to do? Let me be considerate of what he wants to do. Mind you, this is my birthday trip. I might say this a few times, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Like, this was my time to be selfish. Like, and you can call me selfish. I don't even care. It was my birthday trip. Like, of course wanted him to come, but like, this was for me. Like, I just wanted to have fun. Like, I was going through so much. Like, I just wanted to let loose, really relax, and have fun. I'm like, do you want to go to the aquarium? And he's like, no, like, I really want to go deep sea fishing. It was out of my budget, but I was able to find that on the beach that I wanted to go to, you could fish off the pier, and it wasn't that much, and you could just, and I'm like, okay, cool, we could do that. That's where the problem arose for me. It was just like, we're doing this. I was like, thanks for running it past me. And he was like, you don't want to go, I'll just go by myself. Bitch, my birthday, you gonna ditch me on my birthday? Like, I never said I had a problem with seeing his cousin. I just didn't like that. I wasn't considered. Like, he made the plans. He wasn't like, hey, we should do this, or my cousin's out there, are you down to go see him? It was like, we're doing this. And it's not like I'm the type of person to be like, no, I don't want to fucking see your family. It was just like, I just wanted my thought, or like what I wanted to do on my birthday trip, to be considered. That started a fight, because like, I did have attitude. It was over text. A lot of things are misconstrued over text, but it got blown way out of proportion, and he twisted it around into being like, I was so upset because he wanted to see his cousin, but it wasn't that. It was the principal. I found out later that he had posted as soon as we landed, like, hey, do I have any friends in California? Let's meet up. Trying to do other, like, what? Like, are you not here to celebrate with me? Like, call me crazy if you want. Go ahead. I feel like birthdays should really be like celebrated, you know, and about that person whose birthday it is, you know. We get back to this place and we're still kind of fighting. We haven't really talked about it. Like, at this point, I'm like, I'm not going. I don't want to fucking go. Like, fuck that shit. All we're gonna do is fight. I don't want to go. Richard has the audacity to say, fine, I'll just go without you. Hold up a second. So you really gonna take my trip that's on my birthday and go on my birthday trip without me on my birthday and leave me on my birthday? Bitch, you got me fucked up. Like, what do you mean you're gonna go without me? Like, bitch, no, you the fuck you are not. Like, and that's so funny to me because like a few days before, I was upset about some dumb shit. I do that sometimes, I'll admit it. But I didn't want to eat, and he was like, I can't eat without you. But he was really ready to go on a whole birthday trip, my whole trip without me. Funny, Richard. Telling me like, I just need to like push it aside and like get over it, and we can talk about it when we get back. My problem was that I had been in a fight with him before. There was not going to be any talking when we got back. So I wanted to squash the whole thing that we had and just what I was feeling, because I didn't feel heard. That's really what like hit me, is that I didn't feel like I was being heard. I didn't feel like my feelings mattered at this point. And that's why it comes back to the like, oh, people just want to go on for the trip. Like, do you just want to go for the trip because you're not really caring about how I'm feeling right now? I tried. I was like, okay, like, cool, let's just have fun and let me forget about this. And I really did try to. So we're gonna go on the trip, and there was just a lot of signs that I shouldn't have. Look, signs, me. Like, I don't, one of those. The airport wasn't super far from his, like, place, but still, like, we left late. Like, you're supposed to be there, like, an hour early. And we left, like, with an hour to spare. So we're going down there, and it's rainy and gloomy, and I usually like that weather, but it was, like, a sad gloomy. Like, I wasn't having it. And, yeah, I feel like that was sign number one. Driving, it's raining, and we're gonna go park at this little place that we can park, and then it shuttles you to the airport. And there's one that I've always gone to with my mom, and I tell him about it. He's like, no, there's one way closer. Like, we'll go to that one because I went there last time. We go to this place and it's closed, and so is the next one closest to us. And at this point, it's 4:20. I'm like, we can't go back to the place I originally said because it's further away from the airport. And he's like, you know what, it's fine, we'll just park at the airport. And I'm like, what? Because parking at the airport is fucking arm and a leg. It's expensive as shit for no reason whatsoever. It's all about convenience. I fucking hate everything. He got paid on my birthday, which is also the day that we came back, and he's like, I'll just pay for it. Keep that in mind. I will pay for it. I will pay for it when we get back. That's what he said. The parking at the airport was like $24 a day. It's so expensive for. Go to the airport parking, and we can't even find parking. That's sign number 2. Or no, sign number 3, because sign number 2 was the fucking things being closed. Looking around, we're looking to check in and stuff like that, and I reach into my pocket and I realize I don't have my card with me. Sign number 4. I left it in the car, and that card had everything on it. That's the one I used for the hotel. I didn't have another card that had all my money on it. I'm like, fuck. So Richard, again, points for him, but he went and he booked it. And so I go to the little kiosk and try to check in, and I'm able to print out our tickets, and it said the boarding time was like it was later than the flight. It said on the ticket when boarding time was supposed to start, and it was like 5:05, and they started boarding at 4:45. Bitch, sign number 5. Like, seriously, they had already started boarding. Like, it was 4:45. Like, in that moment, like, they had already started boarding, and I'm just like, oh fuck. Like, so Richard gets back, he gets the card. I'm like, we gotta go because they're boarding right now. We get to security. Sign number 6. We are behind the slowest old people I've ever seen in my life. Like, literally zipping bags like, oh, Martha, how's the family? How are they doing? Are they doing good? Yeah, I'm doing as well. Like, bitch, what? People got places to go. Like, I understand, but it's like, we're in security, and security is always slow as fuck, and you taking, oh my god, zipping every little fucking zipper in your backpack slow as fuck, sir. If you don't, get the security, get all our shit, and run. Look, I was not prepared to run that day. I was not, but we had to run as fast as we could. Richard runs faster than me. If we're late, he'll stop them and he'll wait for me. Like, I'm gonna do the best I can. Like, 2 people left, and the only reason I feel like we made it on is because those 2 people were having issues with their bag. We almost had a problem with putting our bag as a carry-on because the lady at the counter was not having it. It was not her day. I don't want to let anybody on that plane, but it's like, so we made it. We got into the plane. Thankfully, I guess. Get there. I'm excited to be there. California, you have my heart. The beach, I love the atmosphere. I love everything about California so fucking much, bro. Right? Like, honestly, like, it was good. It was nice out. Like, we could just walk around, go to Denny's. And while I'm sitting there, I feel like I had like an out-of-body experience. And I don't know if it was just because I was in California and like I love the atmosphere, and like I don't even know, like, this felt like my place. This felt like, my home. I wasn't doing good with my space. Like, why wouldn't I be happy in California? Like, of course I am, but he wasn't meshing with the energy, like I felt like it was just off over there. Like, it didn't feel right. And he's talking, but I'm not there because I'm just like, what the fuck am I here with this dude for? Am I here with this dude? Like, that's how it felt, because I'm like, he does not care about me. He cares about himself, because I'm like, hey, you ever have those moments where you're like, damn, this isn't gonna work out. This isn't the person for me. Like, that's what I felt. Of course, I realized this when I'm already fucking there. So there's still like 2.5 days of me being with him. You get irritated by someone and you're just like, why the fuck you breathing like that? I was just like trying to make the best of it, but I still felt that like deep down, and that was kind of hard to shake because I want people who care about me around me. I want people who like love and care for me around me, because I love and care deeply for the people who are in my life. I went to sleep with that thought. When I woke up the next day, I just wasn't in the best spirits. Richard knew something was off, but when I'm happy and being myself and I don't feel any type of way, I'm very outgoing. I'm always like cracking jokes. I'm trying to have a good time. I have those days I'm the complete opposite. I don't want to talk. I just kind of want to be by myself. I'm just kind of like going through the day. And when I woke up that day, I just kind of felt like that. I don't think he realized the kind of like depressive state I was in. And so when we moved together, when we moved in together, he saw a lot more of that, and he was just like, damn, you're sad all the fucking time. Like, bitch, I know. Just like, I don't understand why you're waking up with this bad attitude and stuff like that. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know, like I don't feel good. Like, we're fighting, like I don't know at what point it escalated. Like, you don't know where this fights start, but I know it had to do with like my piss poor attitude. I already didn't want to be there with him. Like, it just like gradually got worse and worse. And so we're waiting for the Uber, fighting. We didn't even talk about what happened, like, and it still kind of messes with me. And he goes and he tells me to grow up and get the fuck over it. Okay, Richard. Okay, here's my problem with that. This is literally about my feelings and how I felt. And if someone's gonna tell me, hey, get the fuck over that, what the fuck are you doing? Grow up and get the fuck over it. Grow up? Bro, how is growing up pushing stuff under the rug? Like, seriously, all I wanted to do was talk about the situation. I feel like that's more of a grown-up thing to do than just act like it didn't happen. It's like, grow up and get the fuck over it. I'm like, talking to me like that, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, you got me fucked up, bro. So the Uber comes and we're just like mad. Like, we're just mad at each other. The Uber goes like the wrong way, and he's like, look, the Uber's over here, we gotta go. And I'm like, no, we don't. Being an Uber driver myself, I know that if they go to the wrong place, oh, they're not here, they'll turn around and come back, which is exactly what happened. So Richard walked his happy ass all the way over there and had to walk his happy ass back, because who was right? It was me. I was right. The Uber comes or whatever, and right to where I'm standing, like, in my mind, I'm like, like, I told you, bitch. I almost get in the back seat, and I'm like, nope. And I decided to sit in the front. Like, you could sit in the back like a motherfucking passenger, Richard. Like, strike up a conversation with the Uber driver, and we're talking about how it's my birthday. She tells me happy birthday, and it's like all good. We get to the beach, and I kind of just leave. At the point, like, I don't want to talk to you. You told me to shut the fuck. You tell me to get over it, get the fuck over it, because those were his words. Grow up and get the fuck over it. Like, that's so rude, bitch. Oh my God. I'm gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna have a good time. I got my toes in the sand. I go in the water a little bit because I'm not gonna not go in the water, but it was cold. I didn't go deep in, but I went in the water, playing with the little sand crabs, doing my thing. Richard's over there sitting in the sand on his phone watching videos. Like, bro, you're in California. You're on the beach right now. That's what you want to do? Whatever. So I'm like, so do you want to talk about things or no? And he was like, no, you're not talking to me, so I'm gonna just sit here. So I start to leave, and he starts to follow me, and I'm not gonna do this all day. Like, here's the money for fishing on the pier or whatever. Go and do that. You do your thing. I'm gonna go and do my own thing, and we can come back later, because obviously neither of us is having a good time. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna follow you around like a little lost puppy, because that's what you want. And he wouldn't let me be alone, and I didn't like that. And so we ended up fighting again on the beach. Man, the beach is not for fighting. He brings up the fact to come on this trip, he had sacrificed his job. He had sacrificed time with his mom. He had sacrificed time with his dog. And I'm just like, bitch, I was fine going by myself. The only reason I told you to come is because you said you could come. I do not want you to sacrifice your job to come on a trip. The only reason I told you is because you said you could come. Like, and he's acting like it's my fault. That he could possibly lose his job because he left and used an excuse. No pay time off he was getting, like, at all, which I thought he was, but there wasn't. I didn't ask you to sacrifice anything. I wouldn't do that. Like, this was a good job for him. Like, I wanted the best for him. Like, no way, no how would I have been like, you better come on this trip. I don't even care if you're going to lose your job. You better. No, I was fine going by myself. I was just like, bro, what is wrong with you? I ended up resolving the fight. And I understand, like, you're right, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you're goddamn fucking right. I'm right, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't act like that. I was a mess. And we have a good, like, rest of the day. Like, we get some food. And then later on, his cousin came by the hotel. And they were just talking and blah, 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 catching up and all that shit. And his cousin wanted to go fishing the next day. And that day was the day we were going to go to Disneyland. I was like, yo, listen, like, Obviously I want to go to Disneyland. I love Disneyland. But we can, if we go early, we could go early in the morning when it opens, stay there, and then we can leave because you can re-enter the park. Like, we can leave and go fishing with your cousin, and then we can go back later. I just want to make sure I see the fireworks. Totally fine with that. Like, you can spend more time with your cousin. And he's like, no. I wanted to offer it because it's like, obviously he missed his cousin and his cousin wanted to spend more time with him. Anyways, so he decides he doesn't want to do that. We're gonna go to Disneyland the next day. The next day I wake up excited. When you go to Disneyland, you're supposed to get up early, get there when it opens. We did no such thing. Just like, let's go. Like, so excited because it's my favorite fucking place. But we get there, he thought it was just like a regular amusement park. And I'm like, no, it's Disneyland. Like, you don't know how much effort they put into this place. Like, it's magical. And I had fast passes and all of that. And we went on maybe like 2 rides or something like that, and then I'm trying to get a fast pass for another ride. I'm using his phone because my phone, something about my phone wasn't working. I don't even know. While I'm on his phone looking for a ride, he gets a text from his ex, and I'm just like, you have a text message. Like, mad as fuck. And the only reason I was mad about it is because we had a conversation before, because this whole thing had happened with his ex, and I'm like, are you all still friends? Do you still talk? If you are, I understand, because they had been each other like lives for a long time, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't believe you're friends with your ex. Like, no, people are cool with their exes. But I'm like, yo, if you are, just let me know, you know? Like, I just want to know if you're cool with them. And he's like, no, I don't even talk to her, blah blah blah. And then he gets a text from her. I'm like, why is she sending you that if you guys don't even talk? If you guys not friends, why is she being friendly? I don't even know. I don't even know if she texted that. Like, that's Richard being a dumb bitch. Whatever. I don't want to cry in Disneyland, so I kind of just believe him and let it go. But I told him before we left that there was a lot of things that we missed, like in the fairy tale, what is it called? Fantasyland? Is that what it's called? Anyways, like, there's a lot of stuff over there that we didn't go to. Like, we gotta go to that. So we left, we got in and out, we went to the hotel, we took a nap, and like, we were gonna go back. And I didn't have enough money to go get the Uber and stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck. But he was able to get some money just for us to get like an Uber ride and everything like that. Because he got paid the next day, so it's like, and the hotel done took $100 from me. I didn't know that they were gonna do that. Like, if they did, and it drastically hurt me. Like, so I had to like be careful of like what I was spending, and I wasn't careful enough and money to get there and back. And then like, but once he got the money, he was like, yo, can you see the fireworks from outside of the park? And I'm just like, why? You don't want to go back? And he was like, no, I'm just asking. Like, that didn't make sense to me, because like, why would you say that if you didn't want to go back to the park? Like, obviously the main reason I want to go back is to see the fireworks, and for him to be like, oh, can't you see them outside the park, to me seemed like he didn't want to go back. So we go back, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna go on these rides, and we kind of just walk around. I'm like, we don't go on any of them. Just made me feel some type of way, because he just kind of seemed hesitant to go on like certain things. And the thing is, Richard is scared of like fast roller coasters or like fast rides at all. Like, there was a half the rides that I didn't go on because I knew he wouldn't like it, and I didn't necessarily want to go on them by myself and him just wait. Last rides I wanted to go on, he didn't even seem like he wanted to go on or even be there. So I'm just like, attitude. We're waiting in line for the Nemo ride, and he's talking about like, oh, he was like looking up places to take me for dinner, basically for my birthday. And he goes, and like I said, I already have an attitude, but he goes, oh, like, I want to go to Benihana's because I've really been craving like Asian food. That Benihana's is nice and that it's expensive, and the gesture was nice, but at the same time it kind of hit a chord with me that he was like, I want to go to Benihana's because that's what I've been craving. Like, not to sound selfish, and I know it kind of does, but like, if it's my birthday dinner, like, wouldn't you like, what if I don't like Benihana's? It wouldn't be like that. Like, he was going to, you know, pay for this whole dinner for me for my birthday, but it still kind of rubbed me the wrong way, just because he was like, I want to go there because that's what I want for your birthday dinner. I'm barely talking to him, and he got mad at the point. He's like, I'm trying to do something nice for you. You don't even want to talk to me. And I'm just like, bro, I'm just not feeling it. Like, I don't want to be anymore. Like, I was sad in Disneyland. Like, when we left, like, there was just tension. I was over it. I was over being around him. Like, I just didn't like it because he just be so like, ugh, why are you acting like this? Why aren't you talking to me? Why didn't you want to do this? Like, you can't see that I'm visibly not feeling it, not in a good mood right now. So why are you trying to like, hey, that does not work for me. And that's very, like, that's been proven. If you paid attention to me, you would know that. When I told him before, I'm like, yo, if I'm upset about something, just leave me alone and let me deal with it. Have time by myself, be upset about it, move on. That's me, sorry. But I already told him that. He knew that. I gave him that information because we had problems with it before, and he just went right out his head. I don't remember what happened first, but I remember that I was mad irritated. He was like, he wasn't in my face, but he was in my personal bubble. And I was like doing stuff on my phone and he was too close and he was like saying stuff. What's your problem? And I'm like, you're fucking annoying me. Like, I know that's mean to say, but like, I had been pushed past my limit. I'm like, you're fucking annoying me, bro. Like, seriously, like, you're in my personal space. We both got an Uber at the same time. Like, we both had, because there was no communication. Like, I was mad, he was mad. So I'm like, oh, let me get an Uber. And he did the same thing. And so we both had an Uber. And then his Uber didn't know where we were. And he's trying to figure out this whole thing. And he runs across the street. I stayed on my side because I'm like, I'm not fucking running over there. Uber ended up picking up different people and dipping. I don't even know how that happens, but whatever. And so he has to come back and I'm on my phone trying to order a new Uber. While I'm on my phone, I get a Snapchat. Now, let me tell you, this girl, like, she lived in a different country. For her, it was already the next day, you know? And so on Snapchat, you know, when someone's birthday pops up, it's like, oh, a little birthday, like, it has a little birthday thing. And she tells me, hey, happy birthday. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Richard is over my shoulder, like, reading this. And for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a friendly bitch. I hype girls up, like, a lot. And like, even guys sometimes, because I'm like, dude, fucking you, like, fucking get that shit. Like, that's just how I am. So when she said happy birthday, I'm like, oh my god, thank you. And I put like a whole bunch of hearts and stuff like that, like, thank you so much. And he saw that, and like, I didn't realize he was mad at the point, like, when it happened, but he definitely copped an attitude. We get back to the hotel and we start fighting. And he's just like, yo, I'm tired of your fucking attitude all the time. You're always mad about everything. And I'm just like, ugh. Like, I mean, I get where he was coming from, but at the same time, like, I had an attitude for a reason. I just didn't want to be there with him. The whole ex thing that popped up, like, I was feeling some type of way. I'm like, bro, this dude ain't for me. He was like, it's real fucking funny how I'm not the first one to tell you happy birthday. That's a really shitty feeling. I wasn't the first one to tell you happy birthday. Oh, that's really fucking shitty. That's fucking great. That's a really shitty feeling. Like, bitch, but mind you, people I've had in Ubers, the Ubers all day were telling me happy birthday, but he got mad at this one girl who told me happy birthday. He's like, I saw the way you responded. Like, I don't even believe it. Like, and let me tell you, when he's telling me this, it's like 11, maybe 11:30 or something like that. And he's like going to bed at this point. Like, it's not even my birthday yet, technically. And he got mad and he went to sleep. Like, he went to sleep saying that shit. Like, it's a really shitty feeling. And he fell asleep around like maybe 11:45, 11:50. He couldn't stay up like maybe like 10 minutes. Just tell me happy birthday on my actual birthday. And at that point, I was pissed. Fuck this dude. When I get back, I'm packing my stuff. I don't want to talk to him no more. I was pissed because how is a person that I bring on my birthday trip not even gonna stay up to tell me happy birthday? I was like, happy birthday to myself. 12 o'clock, happy birthday to me. Party of one. Two, I'm like, fuck this dude. Like, he ain't shit. Like, I don't need this in my life. Like, I went to sleep mad. Guess what? I woke up mad. I wasn't having it. I was just like, this is me. And I wake up the next morning to Richard coughing in the bathroom. Now, Richard is a smoker. Like, he smokes, and him coughing in the morning was nothing new to me. When we were like living together, he would wake up from work coughing. Like, he sounds like he's fucking dying. And I remember waking up almost every morning like, damn, you good? Because it sounded like he was dying. And let me tell you, this happened every single morning. This happened, that he would be coughing like that because he smokes cigarettes. Anyways, I'm just like laying there in bed on my phone and shit like that. And he goes, I'm having chest pains. Like, he comes out, I'm having chest pains. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. No emotion. I'm just like, damn, I'm sorry. And he's like, if it gets any worse, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. And I'm like, okay. Like, and in my mind, like, I'm not a ruthless I'm not evil. I'm not like, oh, we're not going to the fucking hospital. In my mind, I already was like, oh, okay, I guess we're just spending the day at the hospital today. And he's like, wow, you're not even gonna ask me if I'm okay? And I'm just like, what do you want from me? Like, I get that, but he woke up every morning doing that shit. Like, I didn't think, and he's also a little dramatic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there have been times he's like, I need to go to the hospital, but he really didn't need to go to the hospital. Like, and I'm not saying he was lying then. Like I said, I had already prepared. I was like, okay, we're gonna be at the hospital today. And he's like, you don't even care enough to ask me if I'm okay. Like, you would just leave me to die, basically. And I'm like, bitch, what? All I knew, he was coughing in the bathroom. He came out, he said he has chest pains. If it gets worse, he has to go to the hospital. That's all he told me. And apparently he had been coughing up blood and like almost having an asthma attack and stuff like that. And that's why he had to go to the hospital. But like, you didn't say none of that, bro. And he just turned into this big thing. Like, you would basically just let me die. You don't even care how I am, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bitch, you don't give a fuck. It's my birthday. Did you tell me happy birthday once? No. And he's like, sorry, happy fucking birthday. And I'm just like, bitch, fuck you. Like, you know, he's talking down to me. And I'm just like talking to him like, bro, you don't even care. Like, why do you want me to care so bad? Like, okay, you said you wanted to go to the hospital. We're gonna go. Like, I never said anything about that. You're just mad because I'm not like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, which I do every fucking morning. Like, I didn't even care about my birthday. And the shit that had me fucked up is he goes, oh, no one cares about my birthday. I'm so sad. No one cares about my birthday. Literally mocking me. And I'm just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what the actual fuck? That set me off. It got bad. But I wanted to get out. So I got the stuff that I had and I thought I grabbed everything and I did not. But I grabbed what I could and I left the hotel. Text me like, you left your fucking ID and shit like that. Like, he was saying like, I'll give it back once you apologize for everything. Like, it was just my fault. Like, no part of his was his fault at all. Like, it was just me and my attitude. Like, that's the whole reason this trip is ruined, because I just had an attitude the whole time and I didn't want to just get the fuck over it and just like I understand that there are parts that I took fault in, but the fact that he wanted me to apologize for everything, like he did nothing wrong. Not once he was like, I'll apologize and you apologize. He's like, no, you can have your stuff back when you apologize for everything. And this is when I had service and then my phone died. In this time period right here is where the I almost got kidnapped story like goes in. I'll link that video down below if you haven't seen it, but that's where this filler of time goes, and that's what happened after that. So after that whole thing, I get to the airport and he's there, and he had like texted me. I got text messages from him as I was going to the airport, and he was like, it's all my fault, I'm sorry, like I tried looking for you. I'm not trying to talk to him, really, like no way, no how. I don't want to talk to him. I was looking for you, like trying to seem sincere, I guess. I don't even know, but he's like, I was looking for you and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, like I'm numb at this point. Like, I don't even know how to feel, and I'm just like sitting like, okay, cool. And he's like, you don't even seem like you're appreciative that I was looking for you. And I'm like, well, thank you for looking for me, I just don't really want to talk. And he's like, you're really gonna be like this? And I was like, honestly, like, you're a stranger to me. Like, I don't want to talk to you. And that's how it was, because I didn't want to. Like, there was no point. Like, I did not want to be around this person. And he was like, okay, fine. So we went our separate ways. The boarding starts on the plane and we're about to get on. And I'm like, oh, hey, I remember that he has my keys in his bag. And I'm like, I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, can I have my keys? And he was like, sorry, I don't know you. That's a little bit of my own fault, because I started it with the whole you're a stranger to me. But like, really, just give me my keys. And I'm like, bro, can I just have my keys? Sorry, I don't know you. Who are you? Why are you talking to me? I don't know you. Sorry, you're a stranger to me. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? And he starts talking shit. Talking shit to me. And obviously I talk shit back, because like, what the fuck, bro? You're not gonna sit here and talk shit to me. We're going down the little, like, what is it? The little bridge or whatever to go onto the airplane. And he is trying to trip me. Like, literally kicking the back of my leg so I trip. He did this multiple times. He tried to trip me, and I'm just like, bro, fuck him. Like, I'm just trying to ignore him at this point, because he's gone from petty to complete childish. He starts blowing into my ear. Like, we're standing in line waiting to get on the plane, and he's blowing in my ear, bro, trying to irritate me. And I'm just like, just fucking don't say anything. Just stay there. Just don't do anything. Just fucking ignore it. And he's I lost it, and I was like, I turned to him, I was like, could you not do that? Your breath smells like ass. And I feel like that upset him a little bit. Almost told the lady, she's like, do you guys want seats together? I was like, no. Like, I wanted to tell her, but I didn't want like more shit to go down. I get there, we're sitting next to each other and he's talking mad shit. At this point I started talking shit back, but there was a point where he was just like saying stuff and I'm just like, bro, I'm just gonna ignore him. And when I decided to do that is when he decided to put it in full fucking gear. Fucked up shit, like she don't say to people, like, he was just like, oh, like, now I see why you're depressed. Now I see why you have no friends. This is why no one likes you. He wasn't reacting. He was trying to do everything in his power to make me react. Like, I was sitting there with my head, like, on the window and stuff like that. And he put his finger in my ear because I wasn't reacting to anything I said. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? I put my hood up and I was, like, laying against the thing. I even closed it like this so he couldn't bother me. And he started, like, nudging me. He started putting his arm on me and leaning on me, nudging into me, doing this shit, talking more shit, trying to get a reaction out of me. And I'm just like, bro, please leave me alone. And then like he would keep doing it and doing it and doing shit up. But I was like, can you please stop touching me? I've asked you multiple times to leave me alone. Will you please leave me alone? Like I said it loud enough so people could hear, so they knew that, bro, he will not leave me alone. And he was like, you better be at your car when I get there. I'm gonna leave without you. And I'm like, he was obviously saying stuff to get me, because after he said that he was gonna leave without me, then he was like, I'm not gonna pay for your car, so you better pay for that. And that shit fucked me up because he knew I had no money. Like, he got paid that day. He said he was gonna pay for it, and he knew I did not have money to pay for it because all the money I used was on the trip on both of us. Like, I had no fucking money to pay for my car to get out of there. And I'm just like, fuck, bro, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I was like, I'm just gonna get an Uber to his place and he can take the car and pay for it, because listen, he already said he was gonna pay for it. I had no money, and I didn't want him to fucking be like, oh, she's supposed to pay, and I'm like, bro, I don't have enough, and just like try to embarrass me. And like, another thing is, like, not to be dark about it, but the stuff he was willing to do with a whole bunch of people around, like on a plane, like I couldn't imagine how bad that car ride would have been. And I'm just like, no, bro, I don't want to put myself in that situation, because like, who the fuck knows? And he texts me like when I'm like leaving the airport, like, where are you? And I'm like, I got an Uber. You said you're gonna leave without me. And he's like, that's really fucked up. You're gonna make me pay for the blah, blah. I'm like, bro, you said you would pay for it. I don't have the money to pay for it. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Getting like some of the stuff out, because he's like, don't you dare go in my room and stuff like that. So I'm getting some of my stuff that was like outside in this shed. Gets all the stuff from his room, throws it in my car. He had smoked like a whole motherfucking cigarette in that bitch with the windows up. And I'm just like, you're an ass. Night, I was trying to have fun. There was a really sweet girl who was like, yo, you should come out with us and stuff like that. Because I was just like, damn, this is a shitty ass birthday. Because all of this was happening on my birthday. Like, all of that nonsense, the worst part of the trip happened on my birthday. So it was like bullshit on there. But then like, I couldn't. Like, I was so distraught. Like, I couldn't believe everything that happened. Like, everything got so bad and it was just so crazy. It's just, oh my god, like, I couldn't believe it. And that night I ended up like sleeping in my car. So it was a shitty ass birthday, literally the worst birthday I've had. I'll leave this video on a positive note, because I wrote this song like the day after, and that should help me through a lot. And it's like I was starting to make the most money I made on Uber like ever. Like, things were going like so much better for me. Like, now I'm in my own place. Like, things were so much better, and it's just like so crazy because it started off so horrible. Like, it really did, but it seemed like that was a push to get me to where I needed to be today. Basically the story of the worst fucking birthday of my life. A big fuck you to Richard. Cannot believe I was crying for 3 straight years on my birthday. But this year finna be lit. Go ahead and comment down below. Comment if you think I'm crazy or you kind of understand. Like, because sometimes I'm like, damn, like, was I really being too extra, or like, was it justified, you know? So there's parts I was in the wrong, but for the most part, I feel like it was fucked up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I don't think I said this in my last video. I had a comment on one of my videos of my get ready with me video. I only have my phone, so maybe it's because I don't have my computer. I try to go on the desktop version, but I don't get comments on my stuff. Like, it takes forever. Or when I do, like, it doesn't show up for forever and it won't let me reply to it. So Jackie, who commented on my getting ready with me video, I appreciate you. She told me to keep going and I appreciate you so much. And I just wanted to give a little shout out because I can't comment. I don't know if like they deleted the comment or like what happened, but I can't see the comment. I tried to respond to it. I got the notification for it. I saw what it said, went to go comment, it's gone. I don't even know. But I just want to thank you. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see y'all next Monday. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.